Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today I'm going to explain Docker Compose, which is a powerful tool that will make your containerization workflow much simpler. If you're working with multiple Docker containers, this is going to be a game changer for you. So let's dive in. So first off, what exactly is Docker Compose? Docker Compose is a tool that helps you define and run multi-container Docker application. Instead of having to manage each container separately, Compose lets you describe your entire application stack with a single configuration file. And with Compose, you use a YAML file to configure all your application services. Then with a single command, you create and start all the services defined in your configuration. It's that simple. But why would you use Docker Compose in the first place? Oh, there are several compelling reasons to use Docker Compose. First, it dramatically simplifies multi-container deployment. Instead of juggling multiple commands and configuration, everything is neatly organized in one place. Second, it uses declarative service configuration, meaning you describe the desired state of your application rather than the steps to get there. Third, it ensures environment consistency. Your application will run the same way on every machine that has Docker installed. And finally, it provides a single command orchestration. With just one command, you can spin up your entire application stack. So how does Docker Compose compare to using Docker alone? When using Docker by itself, you need multiple commands for setup. For example, you need separate commands to build images, create networks, run containers, check logs, and so on. Here on the left, you can see how many Docker commands you'll need to set up even a simple application with a web service and a database. While with Docker Compose, you define everything in a single YAML file, as you can see on the right. All your services, networks, and volumes are configured in one place, and then you just run a single command, Docker Compose up, and everything starts according to your configuration. And now, what are the main components of a Docker Compose setup? Docker Compose has four main components. First, we have services. These define the containers that will run, including their images, ports, and dependencies. Second, we have environment variables. These let you customize your configuration for different environment. Third, we have volumes. These provide persistent storage for your containers. And last, we have networks. These manages how your containers communicate with each other. And now let's see how these work together in a typical application. What might a typical Docker Compose application look like? So here's a common setup for a web application using Docker Compose. We have a front-end container that holds the user interface, a backend container that runs the application logic, and a database for storing data. All these containers are connected through a Docker Compose network, allowing them to communicate with each other securely. Data persistence is handled by Docker volumes, ensuring your database data survives container restarts. And the entire setup is defined in a single Docker Compose.yaml file like the one shown here. And now we'll see what are the basic commands you'll need to know to use Docker Compose. So here are the essential Docker Compose commands you'll use most often. We have Docker Compose up to start your services, Docker Compose down to stop them, Docker Compose build to build or rebuild services, PS to list your running containers, and logs to view the output from your containers. These 5 commands will handle most of your day-to-day Docker Compose operations. And that's Docker Compose in a nutshell. We've covered what it is, why you should use it, how it is compared to plain Docker, its main components, a typical application architecture, and the basic commands you need. Docker Compose makes managing multi-container application much simpler and more efficient. If you're using Docker for any project with more than one container, Compose is definitely worth adding to your toolkit. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more container and DevOps content. Leave any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.